There are weeks when the noise in the online business space gets so loud that I genuinely can't tell what I think, not what everyone else thinks, what I think. And more inputs, more strategy, more scrolling, and none of that is the answer. So today I want to walk you through exactly what I do when this happens. You know what it's like. You open your feed, and in the space of 10 minutes, you've been told that long form content is back, that email is the only platform that matters, that you need to show up every day to stay visible, and that someone has just made six figures by doing almost nothing. And even if you have heard it all before and you know that you should take it with a pinch of salt, it still creates this low level rumble of confusion that makes it genuinely harder to think clearly about your own business. So you do one of two things. You try to do more. You add things to your to-do list because what if they're right? Or you freeze because how do you choose when everything contradicts everything else and there are about 500 million choices, or it feels like that? What gets pushed out in both of these scenarios is your own thinking, not because you don't know enough to make a decision or haven't thought things through properly, but because the volume externally is just too high for your own thought process to fight through. And it's not a willpower problem or a focus problem, and it doesn't need to be a battle. It's a signal to noise problem that has a really practical solution. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lyndon, and this channel is about entrepreneurial leadership, the internal work that makes the strategic work of business function. I've been in the online business space for about 9-10 years now, and everything that I see here comes from that experience, including this. Cognitive noise isn't just unpleasant and personally draining, it's commercially costly too. When you can't hear your own thinking, your decision-making defaults to whatever's loudest. You start choosing based on what's in your face rather than what's actually relevant to your business. And that's the mechanism behind a lot of patchy results that I hear women in online business talking about. Not a lack of strategy, but a lack of clarity in their own thought process to act from. And here's what happens in a brain under overload. It looks for a resolution, and the fastest available resolution is usually to borrow someone else's clarity presented through their marketing. That's why you sign up for the thing, or you book a call, or you invest in the program, not because you've evaluated whether it's what your business needs right now, but because it briefly quiets the noise and the confusion. The problem is that it adds to it the moment that that initial relief wears off. And, I have been there, I have done that, so I'm definitely not judging, but what have I learned and what do I actually do now? Well, the first thing is to stop adding to the noise, meaning no new consumption until I've got my own thinking clear again. I mean, that sounds obvious and it sounds simple. In practice, it's not. When your phone is in your hand every 10 minutes and the algorithm is designed to keep feeding you things. Have you ever picked up your phone to do something, but somehow found yourself on Instagram checking your feed and then put your phone down again and you haven't actually done the thing that you originally picked it up to do? I think we've all been there. But the discipline of not adding more noise is the first step. You can't hear yourself think if you just keep adding to it. The second is to go back to my own reference points. What did I actually decide and what was my reasoning when I made that decision from a clear place? What is my business telling me right now? Not what might it tell me if I change everything up and follow the latest idea that I've read, but what is it actually showing me now? And this is where I find journaling helps me. Going back to something that I wrote down when I was clearer reminds me that there was thinking there in the first place. I don't have to generate it again from scratch. I just have to remind myself of it and find it again. Double handling a decision is an energy and time suck that you can do without, because that is different from reassessing with new information as long as it's from your own business, not when it's not. The third thing is to clean up your environment. This is where regulation practices come in directly. Movement, stillness, time away from screens, not as a reward for getting things done and sorting things out, as activities that make sorting things out possible. I've talked about this before on this channel. Your nervous system is part of your business infrastructure in a way that most people just don't take seriously enough. When it's in a noisy and reactive state, your discernment just shrivels. You don't need me to tell you that. You can feel it. The environment you're in, physically, digitally, physiologically, either supports your thinking or it competes with it. Clearing it isn't optional if clear thinking is your goal. I want to make one important distinction here because it really does matter. Reducing noise isn't the same as becoming certain, finding certainty. The goal is not to arrive at a place where you know for certain that what you're going to do is right. And by right, I mean is going to give you the results that you want. That guarantee just doesn't exist in business. There are too many variables. And waiting for that sort of guarantee is its own form of being stuck. The goal is to get clear enough to hear your own thinking again. That's it. And then act from that. And when you're used to that as a way of working, the existence of variables can actually feel more positive than not. But that's a conversation for another day. For now, when you've developed this as a practice, it changes how you move through the noisy online business environment and the noisy periods in your business, because it does keep coming. In other words, you can hear what you actually believe about your business, your direction, your next step, and you act from that. Not perfectly, not without any remaining uncertainty, but from your own grounded place rather than someone else's. So the key shift to take away from this video, if you choose to do so, the quality of your decisions is a direct function of the quality of the inputs that you allow. Clearing that noise isn't a self-care activity, it's a leadership one. It's part of your business strategy, it's not separate from it. Something worth noticing this week: when is your thinking about your business coming from your own consideration, and when is it arising from something external? You don't have to change anything yet, just notice where the input is actually coming from. And if what we've been talking about today is something that you want to take further and want to work on rather than just thinking about, then recalibrate your 30-day practice to confident decision making is the practice that I built for exactly this. And the link to find out more about it is in the video description. Next week, I want to step back and look at the bigger picture, specifically why women building in a grounded and integrated way matters beyond each individual business. It's the deeper why behind all of this, and if what you're building is connected to something larger than just your own results, I think you'll want to hear it. So come back for that one. And if this way of thinking about business is giving you something useful, subscribing means the next video finds you when it's out. I will see you next week, but until then, if you would like to send a message to the YouTube algorithm that my videos are worth watching, leave me a like and or share this video with a business friend. And why not complete the trifecta and leave me a comment? I would love to know more about you and your business. What do you most need help with right now? Let me know and I'll speak with you soon. Bye for now.